All right, take two. So I'm going to be refinishing this guitar for my friend. I done started, and then I realized that I was recording in the wrong direction. So we're gonna redo it. But a couple things to mention. This guitar has a binding, and I want to do a forearm bevel and a belly cut. I went ahead and just free marked them just to kind of get an idea where they're gonna go. I don't know what's gonna happen when I cut off here, how this transition between the wood and the binding is going to be. I'm sure we'll figure it out later, but right now, as you can see, we've already started. We're going to peel off this nitro finish and go from there. So now that I have my camera the right direction, we'll regroup. All right, so this would probably be easier if I had a smaller spatula and not this gigantic one, which I know I have one somewhere, but I don't know where. But it is somewhere. So that's good news. Just gonna clamp it down. We're not gonna try to take it easy on this guitar. I mean, you know, there's not a lot of repercussions, so to say, if something goes wrong. But anyway, here we go. All right, and there's the front. Now, obviously, there's going to have to be some sanding. Some of these holes are going to get filled in too, especially if the Bixby's going in. So, yeah, pretty good. The heat gun was the trick. I couldn't even imagine trying to sand all that stuff off. That would, and look at all that. You would be there for a long time. And I guess this minimizes kind of particles in the air, you know, health concerns. Look at that. There we go. All right, now we'll do the back side, and I'll just clip over when I'm finished. I'm gonna record me trying to take these out. Now I'm not trying to preserve them because we're not gonna put them back in. We're gonna cover these holes. We're gonna put, again, a Bixby. So, but I do need them off, and I just assume I can take these vice grips. I want to get a hold of them. There we go. So they're pressed in there pretty good. Well, they're pressed. So, like I said, I don't care that I'm damaging the metal part. I just have to make room. Well, not room. I just got to get rid of them. That's all. This is all there is to it. That way, when the gentleman that owns this guitar is playing his extreme 20-hour guitar sets that he does, you know, these won't be in the way. There's probably better ways to do this. Again, I don't really care. Okay, when they put this one in, they meant business. Maybe we come at it this way. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Like I said, it's not rocket science. 30 years of professional redneck work led us to this point. So now we have them all out. We can continue peeling the nitro finish off. So now we have the back. Now what I'm worried about is when I try to do these sides, zoom out. I'm worried about when I try to do these sides, the binding potentially, I guess, ungluing itself and coming off with it. Because that heat gun does put a lot of heat. I mean, look, burn the bottom, burn the holes. Maybe there's already burned. I don't know, but you can definitely see some heat. I did pretty good on the back. No heat there, so yeah, I am kind of worried about this binding. I might even go ahead and do my recess here that I was talking about, my arm cut, and then that'll give me access to get to this binding without, where this edge, I see smoke coming out of something. Do you see that? That'll give me access to this edge piece so that I don't have to worry about my binding coming off. And if it does, I'll always wish it wouldn't have. There's not going to be much science to it. I have a Charvel that I'm trying to mimic these bevels with. I believe the Charvel, they have a bevel here for the, it has the input jacks on the back side, and I do want to do that later when I actually build a guitar from scratch. But right now, all right, we're back. Where are we at? We're gonna do a forearm bevel and a belly cut before I sand everything, and before I get to this piece. This will give me access there. Now, I went and did some hillbilly measurements with my Charvel to get this bevel, and it comes to, from the back side, about 1 inch is where that point is. Hopefully we can see it. So I'm going to draw a line here, and then make a mark somewhere, and just kind of true them up. So yeah, hang on. And I'm going to do the same thing on this other side too. So here we go. And we'll go ahead and record this step 2, just so you can see what I'm thinking. Like I said, nothing's going to be very critical. I mean, I'm just going to make some marks, and we're going to call that the point. So a lot of the other ones I've seen, it's like a halfway point between here and then basically where this pickup is. Something like here, here. Let me just do something like so. There we go. There's going to be my forearm bevel, and I'm just going to taper it. I'm just going to draw another line like this, get that going. Now, there was a gentleman I watched on YouTube who did something like so. Let's see. He got a 1/2 inch mark. And he made 2 more lines because he's going to make a breakover edge when you're filing this. Basically, so you have some guidelines on this line. You bring your angle up here, and then you start rolling over the edge so that you have, a nice smooth transition. And on this back side, I'm just going to get something round and just kind of there we go. Not rocket science on that. Not rocket science on that. Is that right? Don't know. It's going to be right. And you can see I have a little mark here, so I'm just going to kind of, I wish I had a Sharpie or something to get that in. That worked out way better than I thought. So there's our marks. Alright, so again, I'm not being like super critical on my lines here. I just took a dry erase and made it, but I'm going to use this Shinto file. Here we go. It's basically just a big saw rasp. You can really hog some material. And I'm just going to bring it just to my lines, and we'll go from there. Alright, we're back. You have to bear with me a little bit because it is hot. It is 92 degrees in my wood shop right now. And it's overcast outside. So, my phone keeps dying or overheating, and I have to stop it, but I keep working. So, what do we do different here? You can see my angle now. I came to my line, but I didn't quite follow everything. I ended up before you can see where like these lines, it was here. I brought it in a little shorter because I thought when I put the Bigsby in, right, it's going to be in this area. I didn't want this breakover angle to kind of mess up things. So there it is. Looks good. You know, feels good. I'm gonna smooth everything over because we have a pretty sharp angle here. But now that I have access to this lacquer or this nitro, I can go ahead and take the heat gun and go ahead and finish stripping all this. Be done with that, and then, or I could just go ahead and finish my bevel angle. Now, to get this angle, we're gonna to get this belly cut. You know, we're gonna kind of do the same thing. I'm just gonna go at it with that rasp file, Shinto file. It did pretty good. I'm just gonna kind of come at it like this and, you know, strike down and then hit it with a sander when I'm done. So I'll show the setup, maybe, and then hopefully my phone doesn't die again. So hang on. All right, so just same thing. I've got a line marked here for my halfway point, and I'm just going to connect these and just do the same thing, same setup. Alright, so right here is probably our last part of this video. Kind of rough, you know, a lot of stuff to learn, not just about this wood, but of course about even trying to record it, because it's 8,000 degrees. So we got our contour, we got our belly cut. I don't think it's deep enough though. It needs to come further down. So I'll compare it with my Charvel. I tried to use the heat gun again and break this nitro off, and what's happening is the binding is melting kind of before I have a chance to peel the nitro. So I have a bit for an angle grinder. Basically I'm just going to sand this off with an angle grinder, not on camera, and with a respirator of course, because that nitro is gross. But yeah, if you look real close you can see where my binding is just kind of destroyed. So I'm not too worried about it on the back. I think I am going to do a roundover bit on all of the back of the guitar, just because. But now I'm kind of worried about the front because I don't know how bad it's going to eat. But on the back, not too worried about it. But yeah, that's our progress. Really happy with the arm cutaway. I feel like that's pretty good. Tune in next time and see where we're at. Thanks.